So I'll be talking about joint prosthetics, arm prosthetics, and leg prosthetics. Basically, their uses, the kinds of different ones, and their future with technological advances. And some people don't understand that prosthetics don't always fit right, and they're very uncomfortable for the user wearing them. So the future of these prosthetics will really help in getting that great fit and helping some of those people that feel uncomfortable for all their life that can't mimic the same feeling they had when they had um, an unamputated leg, especially with all the nerve endings and the muscles. So I'll be talking about joint prosthetics, arm prosthetics, and leg prosthetics. Basically, their uses, the kinds of different ones, and their future with technological advances. And some people don't understand that prosthetics don't always fit right, and they're very uncomfortable for the user wearing them. So the future of these prosthetics will really help in getting that great fit and helping some of those people that feel uncomfortable for all their life that can't mimic the same feeling they had when they had um, an unamputated leg, especially with all the nerve endings and the muscles. So, joint prosthetics are usually replacing damaged joints, and those are usually hip, knee, or shoulder joints. And the main reason for joint replacements um, is because age usually gives way to like numb and uncomfortable joint pain, especially with lots of athletes. Their limbs get tired and they need their joints need replacement. It's just better to get an artificial joint. So the future for joint prosthetics is 3D printing. So like I talked about before, when you have prosthetics, they are not always made exactly for the user. So 3D printing would let us give that detailed attachment that the user needs to feel comfortable in their life. Arm prosthetics replace missing limbs, and there's two kinds. One's called the transradial prosthetic, which attaches below the elbow, and one's the transhumeral prosthetic, which attaches to the upper arm when the elbow joint is missing. So there's two basic kinds of prostheses. There's the simple version, which is controlled by the opposite arm, or the more advanced version, which is the myoelectric prosthetic, which is operated by electric signals sent from the brain. So the arms with hooks attached to the end are attached to the body with a harness and a cable, but the other prosthetics are not. And the future of arm prosthetics involves the iLimb, um, which is a myoelectric arm prosthetic, and each hand, so it's called the iLimb, and each finger is driven by its own motor. Inside of the forearm, there are two electrodes that respond to the signals that your muscle sends. So sending a signal to one electrolyte basically opens the hand and the other one closes it. And people with this eye limb can rotate their hand 360 degrees, and people have said that it's like tricky to use at first, like an iPhone, but you eventually get used to it. So leg prosthetics also have two kinds. One's called the transtibial prosthetic, which replaces parts missing below the knee, and transfemoral prosthetics, which are an artificial knee joint that attaches to the thigh. So the components in this leg prosthetic is the foot ankle assembly, the shank, socket, and suspension. So a little bit more complicated than the other prosthetics we've dealt with. And the use for this prosthetic is usually athletes, veterans, or people who have bad knees may need a leg transplant just because it might be damaged. Also, the future for the leg prosthetics is called the biome, and the person who made the biome trained his focus on the ankle because the ankle is very complicated in the fact that you can put certain weight on it depending like where you are. So the test indicated that the device returned about 200% of the body's downward energy. So and then a carbon fiber prosthetic only returned 90%. So just like that, another man who was a veteran, got both of his legs shot, had to deal with this horrible future, but it eventually led to him wanting to help people who are amputees, including himself. So that is the kind of prosthetics one can get and the future of all of them. And hopefully they'll continue to advance in technology because they're helping a lot of people and making everyone more comfortable. Thank you.